Good morning and welcome. Welcome to my live stream. I'm Bob Pace, your host to Fight CPS. Got to turn on the light. Trying to adjust my lighting in the background. I thought it was enough lighting there, but it didn't seem to be there. Okay. Okay. This is a live stream and it's brought to you every day, twice a day. And today is the 9th of December. And I'm glad that you have found me through Facebook. There are 7 Facebook pages that talk about CPS that are a link to this live stream, and 1 YouTube. It's a total of 8 places that you can find me. Now, one of the first things you can do right now is text a question or a comment. It's about CPS. All I ask you is give me your name and location. And you're from outside of the United States, please show your country. Please show your country. But I know it's a struggle that most of you are having here with what I call the child protection system, abbreviated CPS for short. There are many different names found in many different places around the world. I have a total of 25 countries, and with the US, it makes 26 countries. They have problems with CPS, similar to the problems that I had and over the 3,050 some people I've talked to. That's right, it's a lot of people. It's 25 months. I started this October 2023, and I've been doing this regularly, twice a day, every week, every month, and every year. And I really want to emphasize how important that you do something quick. You need to be on top of this matter right away. It's very, very important that you do so. Because the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Also, you need to follow my 5 rules that I've come up with. In short, the rules are simple. Get an attorney, a qualified attorney. Do not use a court-appointed attorney. 2, document, record, keep everything you can into a 30-ring notebook, a large one, 6 inches, and have tabs. And those tabs will organize all your paperwork, such as your court papers, your social service papers, your test results of your drug testing, your certificates from your programs. You could have a domestic violence program or a drug rehab program. Your results of your drug test every week that you got to take. A lot of you may not do drugs, but they still want to check you. It's very dehumanized. And right now, there's a gentleman today named Michael from Tennessee. I hope he's listening. I hope he comes through. In 1 hour in Tennessee, they're 2 hours ahead of me. He has a court case, and it's a criminal court case in Alabama, and he has to make a decision whether he wants to accept a plea bargain or not. And the plea bargain is such a way supposedly he won't be guilty. I don't think that is the case. I think what will happen is that it's a lesser of guilt, but once you're guilty, if you are guilty, it's one thing, but he's not guilty. He defended his wife who's being attacked by a person with a 2x4. And he is trained in martial arts, and he just was protect his wife. The sheriff or the people that are prosecuting him don't really have anything on him. He knows it, but they're really trying. They're really trying to make a case out of it. Now, besides texting me a message here, you can also be a guest on my live stream. To be a guest on my live stream, all you have to do is send me an email. The email is directed to bobp@vincentwdavis.com. You just send me your name and your phone number and your email, along with the time you want to be on the show. There's 14 live streams. I'm on every day at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. I'm also on every night of the week at 7 p.m. And so you just say, I want to be on Bob's Saturday night show or Bob's Friday morning show or Bob's Wednesday night show. That's all you do. And in turn, when you send me the email, I'll forward it to my show producer, Grace, who will send you a link to StreamYard. And that'll get you on what I'm doing right now. I use StreamYard as my live stream broadcast here. Lastly, the rules of being on my live stream. We respect one another. No disrespect to people, including your host, me. No profanity. No eating or smoking on the show. And we do not use the names of children, social workers, or judges. If you get knocked off, the link's good for the whole show. Just repost it in your browser, repaste it. And that is all there is to be on my live stream. And I've had a lot of people in the past. Now I'm going to put my number up. And I hope to hear from Michael from Tennessee this morning, because he's going to think about whether he should accept the plea bargain or not. I told him to talk to his attorney on his CPS case and see what his attorney thought about that. But what he was talking about is a law called Stand Your Ground Law. Now, Alabama's Stand Your Ground Law plays an important role in many criminal cases. The self-defense law provides legal protection to individuals who use force, including deadly force, to protect themselves or others from harm first attempting to retreat. So that's what he's being wrongfully accused of. They don't have a solid case. There are key conditions when using the force. You got to be in place. You have a legal right to be, like a home, a street, etc. You cannot have illegal activity. You can't be breaking law at the time. 3, reasonable belief. You must reasonably believe deadly force is necessary to prevent imminent serious injury to death to yourself or another. His wife, he was worried about being injured or killed. And you cannot be the aggressor. The law does protect those who start the confrontation or provoke. Doesn't protect those. So if you didn't start it, you're not the aggressor. Now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make a plea bargain where it's called the best interest in a criminal case. It's called the best interest plea. Now, the best interest is a separate legal standard used exclusively in family law and child custody cases in Alabama. Does not apply to criminal proceedings. Now, that's confusing because his case with the child protection system is in Tennessee, not Alabama. A best interest allows the defendant to plead guilty to a criminal charge while still maintaining their innocence. The defendant accepts the conviction and its associated penalties because they believe that given the circumstances such as strong evidence held by the prosecution, there isn't strong evidence, so I don't think he should accept a plea bargain. The thing is, CPS in Tennessee will hold their case open. And I believe with the criminal matter, he's got 5 years before they take you to court, which I cannot believe. In general, the individual's best interest in a criminal case is a strategic decision that depends entirely on specific facts and circumstances, but I don't think they have a strong case against him. And again, that should be all determined by attorney. Now, he has 2 attorneys. He has one attorney handling his criminal case in Alabama. And then he has another attorney handling his case and CPS matters in Tennessee. The attorney in Tennessee is a court-appointed attorney. The criminal attorney is one that he purchased to protect himself. So in many cases, the individual's attorney is able to negotiate the charges down and possibly even having some charges dismissed if multiple charges are filed. Reduced the charges often means reduced penalties that keep a person from spending time in jail or prison. In other cases, a reduced amount of time a person will be incarcerated. Entering into a plea bargain can also shorten the process. It can take a significant amount of time to get to trial, and during that time, many people are forced to put their lives on hold. A quicker in the process can allow a person to get back to his or her life faster. The accused individual could also be able to avoid the cost and time needed to go to trial. Whether a plea bargain is right for a particular individual depends on a myriad of circumstances. No Alabama resident should agree to enter in such agreement without first consulting without a criminal defense attorney. He or she will be able to review the circumstances surrounding the charge, ensure that the accused individual's rights were and are protected, and advise whether any deal proposals. So, I've thought about this over, what Michael should do. Now, I don't know if Michael's in the room right now, but he's due to come in because his court is at 1 o'clock today. And right now, it's a little afternoon in Tennessee, about 16 minutes after the hour. And I don't know how far the courtroom is from his home. He may go directly to court at 1 o'clock Tennessee time. But it's a tough decision to make. I don't think they have convincing evidence that he's guilty of anything but defending himself. It very clearly says if you don't start it and you're not in a criminal area, you're not done a criminal act, then you should be able to defend yourself, whatever it takes to defend you or the person like your wife. The downside is a CPS case will stretch longer, means less time with his children. But this thing will stay on his record for at least a year. That means you have to go to a probation officer every week. He has to be drug tested. His home has got to be inspected every week. And it'll stay on your record. Now, maybe it's reduced from a felony to a misdemeanor, but it'll still be on your record. It'll hurt for you getting jobs or work. I always believe, and it's a mistake that I made, that when you're not guilty, you don't accept any kind of plea bargain, even if it's a lesser amount and the case is closed. Because in the end, you regret it, and I have regretted it. I regretted it. Now, my number's up at 626-698-0990, and I'd love to hear from you. You call that number live, I'll get you to me right now on my phone. We have a good 30 minutes that you can talk. Hmm. Mm. 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 No, I'm not on early. It should be. Oh my goodness, I am on early. I started by mistake. I thought it was 10 o'clock. I have started this early. I had the wrong time. I apologize. I normally am on at 10 o'clock. And I understand you have a meeting, Andrea from Illinois. I apologize. You're right. I am on early. I got swept up on being on time, and I had started early. It wasn't done purposely. I do apologize. Mm. Oh boy. Uh, hmm. Let me see if Megan Wilson. She's been trying to get a hold of me. I do apologize for my time screw up here. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, Megan, did you want me to talk to you now? I'm on early I did not know I'd be on early, but I am.
You're online?
Yes, I am online.
Oh, no, I can't talk online.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll talk to you later. Yeah. Understood. I can only talk during my times. I saw your message, so maybe you can talk to me again tomorrow at 10 o'clock or tonight at 7. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I understand, Megan. I understand. God bless you. All right. Bye bye. That was Megan Wilson from Wilmington. She's CPS is really attacking her, and a lot of times they find out they're on the show here, and she has a really bad case, and so anyway, um, wow, no wonder Michael's not on right now. No wonder Michael's not on right now. No, I can't shut down. Once I start my show, it's fixed. I didn't look at the clock close enough. I remember seeing the time 55 of the hour, and I thought it was 9:55, but it's actually 8:55. So I started my show at the wrong time, and it wasn't something I purposely did. Um, I just have to go ahead with it. Um, Understood. Well, I'll be on maybe at the tail of my show. You can get me Andrea at the end. Andrea's from Illinois. She has a horrible case. Her daughter's turned against her. That's one thing when your teenagers turn against the parents. They sometimes use CPS recklessly. They don't know CPS, and CPS makes a lot of promises. And hello, Amanda Jean. You're new to this room. And what part of the world are you from, Amanda Jean? And I love staying strong and good energy. Thank you for sending me that, Amanda. Now, I've had some emojis. I have Tresser Velza, and then I have Tresser Velza again, and Andrea with a love. So I appreciate the emojis. They're really great there. Oh boy. That is something I don't think I've only done this one other time where I've come on early. You know, I do so many of these live streams. You know, over 1,600 live streams or something like that. You know, you do easy way to look at it is that you take your calculator out and you do 4.33 weeks a month times 25 months equals 108 live streams approximately. I don't know if that's right. Did I do that right there? There are 52 weeks a year. So you add the 52 twice, and then you add 1 month. It's 105 times 2 is 210 live streams. Nope, I did my math wrong. It's 52 weeks plus 52 weeks plus 4.33. And that's one show, but I do 14 shows. So you times 14. It's 1,517 shows I've done, live streams. That's a long time. 1,516 shows. That's 3,033 people. I do an average of 2 new people a show. So there's over 3,050 people, roughly, I'm saying. And you're great, Southern Oregon. Glad to meet you there, Amanda Jean. And so I understand that Andrea from Illinois is my show's early. I did not know I do my show early. I just saw my clock time and I geared myself up to be on here at 9:55, but it's actually 8:55. So I've been doing my show. I can't go backwards. I can't change it. I just would be done there. So I um, hold on a second, please. I apologize. I need to mute my mic for a second. Back on the room here. Um, wow. Thank you, Christina, for telling me. Christina Reynoso is from Las Vegas. And Christina, I came on early and I apologize. It's a mistake I haven't really made. I'm really very punctual. And when I saw the clock time of 9:55, it was actually 8:55. Somehow I thought it was 9. And she says that Megan's synopsis is enormous for a reason or safety more so. Yes, Megan Wilson had just called in. I mean, I just had called her. She can no longer talk on the show. She's from Wilmington, Delaware, and has a horrible case. She was brought up foster care herself, but her case has not been safe. Not been safe. So, um, I apologize to my wife in the background who is very upset with me starting my show early because she needs her cereal. And it was an honest mistake. And so she's fixing her breakfast. This is a live stream. Anything can happen in a live stream. My young son came by the house to park his bicycle because he goes to college. And it's easier for him to catch the bus than where his new place he moved into with his best friend and his brother's new wife. Yeah, my children are now all grown up. My 6 children that I've helped raise. Three of them are living together, which is really uh, not shouldn't say three of them. Two of them are living together, and my older son just recently got married and he has his wife, and then my youngest son has his best friend, and he's trying to go to college to bear himself. My youngest son is very responsible and does care about his family. Sadly to say, families sometimes change. And my family was hurt by CPS. In fact, the instigators did a lot of damage to our family. We were called, me and my wife, by lay people. And these lay people were her wife, her mother, her father, her 3 sisters and brothers. And from 2010 to 2015, they would call in and make accusations that weren't true. And that's hard when you try to disprove accusations. A lot of you may have experienced the same thing. A lot of you may have experienced the same thing. And these accusations went on to one time they decided to investigate more thoroughly with the police. These social workers are vendetta. Their goal is to break a family apart, especially when a family is going through hard times. A lot of you are low income. At that time, I had lost my job in 2010 through no fault of my own. And I was low income. I was barely surviving in my home. I had property tax and the heavy mortgage payments to make payments, and I couldn't do so. I also had to hire an attorney because I was trying to defend the case myself through letters and meetings and correspondence with the director of CPS in Orange County, California. It didn't work. They just retaliated. That's the bad thing about CPS. They retaliate. They don't care how awful they make your life. There's nothing more heartless than a group of social workers who have very little education. Our social worker never completed high school. She didn't have a college degree, and she decided to make her I don't know her goal. Well, she's being fed with money. It's all about money. She bragged about a Gucci purse. She bragged about her eye makeup, her clothing, her BMW car. And all that being said, that she was getting bonuses from the CPS county, big time bonuses. Now, when your children are taken, CPS gets from the state $20,000 per child to have them in their custody. That money goes to CPS county from the state, and the money from the state comes from the federal government. Billions of dollars are sent from the government to the state, and millions of dollars are sent to the county. They get an additional $10,000 if they're special needs children. So that's 35,000. And they have a incentive bonus that President Bill Clinton signed into law in 1994, I think it was, or 97, that states that if they get adopted in foster care, then the federal government will give a bonus of additional $35,000 to that county. It's all about money. It's a trillion dollar business. It's a $1 trillion business. So it is tough that you got yourself involved with the child protection system. Every county in every state will have a system supposed to protect our children from neglect and abuse, but it's also supposed to do what's called family reunification. Now, family reunification is an important goal because studies have shown that the biological parents, are the best people to raise our children. But it's sad that teenagers will manipulate their parents and use CPS against them. Our daughter, who's 12 years old, got caught up with a very corrupt social worker, a corrupt judge, and supposedly a CASA worker. Now, CASA is called the Court Appointed Service Advocate. They're supposed to help children that are going through trauma. Now, our children weren't going through trauma, they were put into trauma. That was the sad part. They weren't traumatized when CPS first got involved, but when they were put in a shelter that had rats and cockroaches next to a play yard of, of juvenile prisoners, the prisons next door to the shelter. Their idea of education was reading a book. Now, my son at that time, he was 15, was at a private high academic high school. My daughter was at a middle school, very well to do. And my youngest son was at an elementary school, state of the art elementary school. But they weren't allowed to continue those schools until we made arrangements to have our children placed with what we thought would be good people. Unfortunately, my wife's sister and her husband turned out to be rotten eggs, and I think more of her sister than her husband. They tried to, for a month, take her school kids to school and tried to take care of them. But in order to take care of them, it requires them a lot of work, and they're not used to it. That's what's so interesting. People don't know what it takes to raise 6 children or to take care of them. It's a lot of work. If you have 3 children that you're bustling daily to and from school, that's a lot of driving, a lot of expense there. But we're doing that. Unfortunately, when I lost my job through no fault of my own, it's a struggle to get work because of your age and because you're caught up with the CPS system. Nothing looks back when they do a credit check and find out that that you got a lot of things working against you. It's an awful, awful, awful experience. Yeah, Amanda, you're new to our family, but I'm so welcome here. It's out of control. I'm trying to tell you the reality. There are over 3,050 people that I've talked to, over 1,600 shows I've done live streams. 1,600. That's a lot of talking. And it's all the same thing. It gets very repetitious. But it's true with everybody I've talked to that the common thing they have is a very corrupt CPS entity. Now, not all CPS are bad, only about 50% of them, but that's a lot of people. If you got a county like in California, you got 50 counties. North Carolina's got 100 counties. Those are 50 separate CPS entities, or in North Carolina, 100. You're probably wondering, well, California's bigger than North Carolina. Well, it's the density of people in North Carolina. California is still, it is dense in the greater Los Angeles area. It's getting to the point where San Diego and LA are merging as one big mega city. And Santa Barbara's not far behind that. Soon it'll be San Francisco. Soon it'll be San Francisco. And we are being crowded in California. Everybody wants to come and live here. The weather's nice. You can go skiing in the morning and go surfing in the afternoon, or vice versa. It can be warm at the beach, 70 degrees, and snow in the mountains. They're an hour and a half away. There's a lot of roadways, freeways that network through California. You can drive nonstop from the Mexican border at Tijuana all the way to Vancouver in Canada, nonstop. It's called Route 5, and it goes the whole length of California, Oregon, and Washington. Now, I'm here to answer your questions and your concerns and to help you all with issues. Like some of you are involved with the Indian Child Welfare. It's called ICWA, Indian Child Welfare. And it was started in 1978 when they finally got around after 100 years of helping out the Indian children. People don't realize the importance of the American Indian. They were the first immigrants to the North America. They came across the land bridge in Asia over to Alaska. And they did this tens of thousands of years ago, long before Europeans. And the first city that was actively started was down in Florida in the 1595, I think it is, or 1585. It was a Spanish group that did that. Then in 1608, in Jamestown was the first English settlement. So let's say roughly 400 years we've had people in the United States, and we've been fighting our children, safety our children. Well, we didn't have a system that didn't start to 1964. That's when they started CPS, long after a system to protect our animals. The SPCA, the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, was started a long time ago, before we ever worried about our children. Our children were economy, meaning that they did the house chores, especially if you had a farm. They collected eggs from chicken, they milked the cows, they set the cows in the pasture to eat, they fed the pigs. They did a lot of the farm work. When it came time to harvesting the corn and the wheat and the beans, they're out there doing it. So our children are really important, but they also were important to the family. But times have changed now. Children are only required to go to school. They should have rules at home about chores and things like that. That should be affordable to all children. They need that. They need to be disciplined. And a lot of you are having a hard time when you sit there and they are playing on the social internet and on their phones. The phones have gotten so bad at school that a lot of classrooms are saying when you come into the classroom, you put your phone in the box so you don't have your phone on. Too many people were sitting there playing with their phones at desk. Parents take away phones when children are misbehaving, but then their parents are punished. I never am so shocked with our kids. My son was in high school before he went, was in middle school before he went to high school, got a phone. His phone was given to him upon graduation with straight A's. He was rewarded by good grades. My other younger children didn't have phones, but one of them, our daughter at 12, was given a phone by CPS. They felt it was necessary so that she could go into the dark side and explore the social network. No matter what kind of safety features are on the phone, it does not prevent a child from seeing all kinds of bad things on the internet, the dark side of the internet. The internet is great because we now have a computer in our hands and we can research, look up things, and we can communicate with people. And it's a good tool. It also has a bad side. Too many people are bullied and killed. And here it is, CPS is giving our daughter a phone because we as the parents didn't want to. She was too young. But apparently CPS thought she was old enough to make decisions. Now, one thing that's sad has come up here is that if you have a court order that says you have visitations with your children, they can't force the child to see the parent. A lot of you have asked me, well, how do I get to see I have a court that says 3 times a week I visit with my child, but they won't let me see him because the daughter or the son says they don't want to see you. I think all children should have a meeting with the parents and a counselor and a social worker to discuss where they're at, what's going on. It's terrible when they separate the children from the parents because they don't do and integration. Right away, the parents labeled bad and the children are labeled good. Now, I'm not saying all children are bad, but if you don't bring the child and the parents together to discuss issues at home and you don't work on that way, it is really really hard for that child to you know to really. I mean, you see, when you eat at the dining room table, you should have no cell phones on. Your cell phones will take messages. What happens before we had cell phones? It went to an answer machine, or people had to wait till after dinner to answer a phone call. So cell phones should be set to quiet mode at dinner time. Dinner time should be the time the family comes together and discuss the events of the day. That is the most important aspect of the family unit. And they don't do that. And CPS doesn't encourage that. CPS alienates your children by doing what they do. They don't let the children know what's going on in the case. They're not informed. They don't know if there's hope down the road or they're going to be taken away. Children are so terrified of CPS. They also take advantage of CPS as their older teens by sneaking out, by doing things the parents told them not to. Maybe there's like dating. There's dating. They don't want the child to start dating older men. Why should a girl at 12 years old date a 20-year-old guy? That's wrong. Why? Because the girl may be matured and the guy may be matured, but they're not separated. The guy at 20 is doing things that most 12-year-olds are not doing. Most 12-year-olds are not doing. So it's sad. It's sad that CPS does this. And it's hard. It's hard. Now, for some that are just coming in now, it's 10 o'clock. That's my time I usually start my show. And I did a boo boo. I think it's the first time or the second time in my 1,500 or 600 shows I've done that I went at the wrong time. It wasn't purposely. Again, I apologize. Some of you that are coming in right now, I am here to help you. Now, Amanda from Oregon says, yeah, this entity was a local CPS worker 3 years ago, hired by my tribe and got to be our BIA agent in Southern Oregon. She has well hired non-natives to imply that ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act, doesn't apply to my case. Well, let me tell you something about ICWA. ICWA is a very legitimate law that was passed by Congress. It basically is simplified. If you or your children are members of a registered Indian tribe with the federal government, your children are turned over to the tribe for them to work out the arrangements with your child. So if CPS investigates and finds out there's cause to separate the children from the family because they're in danger, which a lot of times they're not, they just use that, then they need to find out if the child is registered as an Indian with one of the federal recognized tribes. Now, I know in this case, Amanda Jean is from Oregon and she is an Indian. And they're supposed to turn over the child there. And I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if the letter of registration is missing or if the tribe's refusing to help or what. But for so long, the Native American Indians have been abused for over 100 years. In the 1800s, they were slowly being put on reservations. And by the 1900s, all of them were put on reservations. Sadly, one of the last Indians, Sitting Bull, had surrendered and then he was murdered while in captivity. There was a man who traveled with the Wild West show that saw homelessness in the streets of New York at the turn of the century. Children begging. Our children have been hurting for a long time. It isn't just now or 50 years ago. It's a long time coming. But it's a very complex system, CPS, and it's hard for me to explain it all in my short time frame for an hour. But you do have to be careful. You do have to be very knowledgeable. Knowledge is the power. The more you learn about CPS, the better off you are. That's why the internet has a bright side. It's wealth of information about CPS. A lot what I talk about, I've got by studying and reading what's on the internet. It's also hard when the system is corrupt and is very, 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 very corrupt. Now, Lisa says that she sent me an email. Lisa Barkley just came in the room. She's a longtime member of this family, and she's from Montana. She has a 5-year-old child that she's trying to get custody of. Now, I see the email that you sent to Christina, Lisa Bartley, that you're telling the attorney and she's not doing anything with the documents. And what the problem is the attorney you're doing with, Lisa Bartley, is a court appointed attorney and they don't want to do the extra work because they won't be paid for it. Now, people are trying to help you, Lisa. It's pretty explanatory that Christina did. Excellent, excellent thing that Christina has written to Lisa. You need to do all those things there, Lisa. It is a lot of work Christina has gotten for you. I see the email. I see the email. Christina sent me the email too. Um, wow. A lot of work that Christina's done, Lisa. A lot of work that you've done too. Wow. Christina Reynoso, that is amazing what you do in writing all those emails that you've given me copies. Now, you not told me why ICWA doesn't apply to your case. Why is ICWA not applying to your case, Amanda? Are they refusing to recognize that your child is Indian and registered with a federal recognized tribe? Yeah, Lisa, the problem the attorney has to work. Yes, Christina is awesome. Over false allegations, my court appointed lawyer had a big poster over um, Buffalo Bill's first scalp. So disrespectful offenses, so absurd. All right, that is terrible. The American immigrants. These are our first immigrant. They're long here before the Europeans. I mean, the next immigrants were the Vikings. They didn't immigrate, they just explored. Then came the Spanish and then the English. Anyway, um, it's now 10 o'clock, and my time was supposed to be going to 11. I started an hour early, and I do apologize. I guess I was tired today. I'm always so conscious about doing my live stream on a timely basis. I want to start at 10 and finish by 11 if it's a weekday. If it's a weekend, I start at 8, finish by 9. And if it's evening time, I start at 7 and I finish at 8. Now, there have been times in the past I've started my live stream early or later. That's because I had a reason. But I'm not allowed to have anything but my regular times. If I have a doctor's appointment, I have to schedule around it. If I have a court appearance, I have to schedule around it. If my family has activities, I have to schedule around it. It's very, very hard and difficult. Because for almost 2 years, I was able to do so. But then they felt it was not necessary. Whatever the reason is, I don't know. Um, Andrea, you're back. You said boo. Um, Amanda Jean, that's terrible. That appointed lawyer had a poster over Buffalo Bill's first scalp. That is so terrible. Today, our first immigrants are treated with disrespect. Now, in Canada, they're called the First Nation. The indigenous people of Canada are called the First Nation. In the US, they're called Native Americans. Native Americans. Now, if you're born here, you're a Native American. But times are changing now. If you're going to be born here, you're going to have to become a citizen. And they're changing their criteria. Just because people run over here to have a baby doesn't make them American. But we have problems. We have problems. And I can't fix all the problems. And I don't think anybody can. I wish I had a wand that could wave over you guys and make everything better for you. I haven't left yet. Andrea, I haven't left yet. It's 5 minutes after the hour. It's actually 10:14. I'm holding on because Michael said he'd be in here at the early part of the show at 12:14 right now in Tennessee. Now, I'm taking my phone number down and putting the Department of Government Efficiency. It's a federal government department that was created by our new president. One of his campaign promises that he would clean up the government agencies. He feels, as well a lot of people feel, there's too much waste going on and too much mean things. Too much people sitting at home getting a free ride with the government. There are people that get a free paycheck every week and they don't do a dime for the government. There's a lot of corruption that goes on. Donald Trump's goal was to save $1 trillion. He hired one of the best business people around, Elon Musk, to head up the committee. But that was only a temporary job, meaning that you can only be aboard 3 months and then you have to move on. He got close to $1 billion in the first 7 months or 6 months, whatever time it was. I think at the end of the year, there will be $1 trillion savings. There's a lot of government waste. There's people that sit in cubicles that do nothing. And they're paid a paycheck. I'd be embarrassed to be paid to not work hard. When I do a job, I give 110% of doing my job. Like this radio show, or not radio show, like this live stream. I give 110% twice a day. Every day of the week, every week of the month, and every month of the year, year after year. I've been doing this. Now, I don't know too many other live streams on YouTube or anywhere else that talk as much as I do twice a day, 7 days a week. Now, that's 14 hours you hear me every week. Some of my shows have been good. Some I don't think have been good. It is a hard thing to sit here and talk and try to come up with the right answer and the right feeling for you guys. I really feel compelled that I have a mission in life. I've always been this way. I have over 50 years of volunteer work with the Boy Scouts of America. I have over 50 years with the American Red Cross. I have over 25 years of volunteer work with surfing organizations and surfing contests around the world. For a while, I think I had 5 years with the AYSO soccer, given my time. Anything I ever involved in, even when I joined a fraternity, I'd volunteer my time. I was not just a member, but I did active roles. In college, I did too. I joined Kiwanis and Key Club and Circle K. I've helped out serving food at shelters. I've even helped out working at the veterans place for a year. Once a week, serving a meal to the veterans that stayed in this house. I've given a lot of time of myself. I didn't take from society, I contribute to society. And I do want to help you with your CPS case. How I help you is best when you guys ask me questions, I'm able to answer them. It's best when I ask questions I'm able to answer them. I'm so glad, Amanda Jean. Amanda Jean is a Native American Indian from Oregon. You need to follow up. And thank you, Lisa. Thank you. You know, every day I don't have a script. All I know is I talk from the heart. I have a lot of life skills that I can talk to you about. How to get legal insurance, how to get car insurance, how to get life insurance. There are so many insurances available that people don't think about it. There's pet insurance. You know how expensive it is to take care of a cat or a dog or a turtle? I once had radiator sliders, and the female had trouble excreting her egg, and she was going to die. I took it in and took care of the turtle. Um, I'm educated. I have a college degree. It's a Bachelor of Science from marine biology. But I also have a wealth of jobs that started at age 15, 61 years. I once was a marine animal trainer, training killer whales for Greenland and Pacific. I've been an ocean lifeguard for 10 years. I still do volunteer work for the county in the threats of disasters. I've always helped out people. My goal in life is to do a good turn every day. It's something you learn at Boy Scouts. Every day I try to do something positive. And I think if all people felt that way, the world would be a better place. The world would be a better place. It's a hard world we're in right now. We have a businessman running our country, not a politician. And there's a lot of backlash because he's not a politician. He's a businessman. He knows how to make money. He's also failed at businesses, but he's learned from that. They are investigating the child protection system. It's going to take time, but I do believe they'll get to the bottom of this. If CPS is listening, you guys got to do your job. Your job is to help people and bring families back together if they're apart. Nothing beats the biological family from all walks of life. People are struggling in the world. You just look at the people in Gaza or Palestine or Somalia or Ethiopia or the battle scored countries of Rwanda or the Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC. Africa is where the birthplace of mankind started. And from Africa, we spread all around the world. Studies have shown that reed boats can be made to sail from Africa to South America. These are straw boats that are put together. It's called the Raw Expeditions. And then Kontiki by Thor, a Norwegian, proved that it can sail raft from South America to an island in the South Pacific, how the Polynesians spread. In early years, people spread. Why? Food sources ran out. They looked for new lands. And that's how they got to North America. North America came spread from the people from Asia. Yes, North America has had people from Europe come over here. The Vikings were here long before the Europeans. And I'm sorry to tell you, if you still believe that Christopher Columbus discovered America, he didn't. He never set foot on North America. He discovered the Caribbeans. Well, with all this being said, our children are caught up in the process because they're part of a family unit. It wasn't until the 60s that they corrected Christopher Columbus, who only arrived and he thought the New World was the Bahama Islands, an island called San Salvador. It wasn't North America. His whole purpose was to sail from Europe to Asia to find a Western sea route. Because in the Indies, or the Asian part of India, is all the silk and all the fancy material and stuff. Now, it's well past the hour, and I have stayed on only because of people like Andrea who may have a question. And your question is, can I refuse to sign documents for CPS consent forms? They want my medical providers to get a copy of their bogus psychological report. That's something you should discuss that with your attorney. Now, you can say, I signed this document under duress. I don't give you consent to the medical records. If they're bogus, then you don't want to sign away. Now, Amanda Jean with ICWA, you got to get the ICWA, the tribe, to get involved with your case. If they don't, they're corrupt. And I hate to tell you that. Now, all Indian tribes, they are corrupt. And Andrea, you can refuse to sign anything from CPS. You should ask your court-appointed attorney or your lawyer. But if you have a bogus psychological report, then you shouldn't give permission to have the bogus psychological report given to them. Now, I do have to, your question did come through, Andrea, from Illinois. But I do have to close my show. It's well overdue. So with that being said, I want to thank Andrea Francis from Illinois for joining in. I want to thank Lisa Bartley, Amanda Jean from Oregon. Lisa Bartley is from Montana. And then we have Amanda Jean from Oregon. Yeah, I already talked about her. Amanda Jean. And then we have Christina Reynoso, who's done so much work with these synopses for all the people in this room. Thank you, Christina Reynoso from Las Vegas, Nevada. So that's all the people this morning. And I will be on again tonight at 7 p.m. Please join me then. And also, if you think about giving up, don't. Come here first. Talk to me about it. Don't not give up on your children. I care about every one of you guys. I want you to have a beautiful day. Please watch the video at the end of my live stream.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last